Welcome to Template Titans, the show where we dive deep into the world of Notion templates and the creators behind them. I'm your host, Nick Lafferty, and in each episode, we sit down with talented Notion template creators to discuss their journey, insights, and tips for success. Today's guest is Chris from Chris's Notion. He's a Notion YouTuber that has over 8,000 subscribers, and today he spills the secrets on how he's used YouTube to sell over $10,000 of Notion templates. He has an entire series on how to use Notion AI, and his channel is a great source of Notion knowledge, both for myself and other creators. Right before I talked with Chris, I interviewed another Notion creator who mentioned he was inspired by Chris's videos, which is just incredible timing. We talk about Chris's process for creating Notion templates, why he outsources the actual editing of all of his YouTube videos, how he deals with haters and negative comments, and what are the best channels for Notion creators to make and market their templates on. Chris is a super smart dude, and there are tons of great nuggets here for anyone interested in making money selling Notion templates online. If you want to find Chris's templates, then check out my website, nicklafferty.com. The link is in the description below. Now on to the episode. Hey Chris, it's great to have you on the show today. Can you please introduce yourself and give us a brief overview of your experience with Notion?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, so I've been growing my YouTube channel all about Notion for the past 2 years, and I've recently started to take Twitter more seriously, but mainly on YouTube. I would say that's my sort of my thing, my edge. And yeah, I've been doing it on the side for a while, but now it's my full-time thing. So pretty proud of myself to be able to do what I love and love what I do. But yeah,
Yeah, when did you make the switch from part-time to full-time?
it was well, I had like I'm still really young, so I had the benefit of like being able to live with my parents. But I was a real estate intern for like 6 months, and then in that time I realized like they didn't have any systems in place. Like it was like they didn't have anything for any new employees, no trainings or anything. So I ended up just like playing around with Notion inside like the company and stuff. And I realized like there's probably a lot of businesses that could like use something like Notion and a lot more opportunity. And that was also the time where my aesthetics tutorial started popping off and I started to get like sales. So I started to record more content again, and then I just like quit, and then basically just like this is it, like just going full focus the Notion, and yeah, just been creating YouTube content ever since. I also created a Twitter back then, a Twitter account, and yeah, I just continued from there. And now last month, so the 1st of April, I like moved into my own place, which is pretty exciting.
Awesome. Hey,
So yeah,
congratulations. It's an
thank
amazing
you.
step to do that. I just talked to someone before this and they were answering the same question of how they got into Notion the first time. And their answer was, I watched one of Chris's videos. And so I was
Oh,
like, guess what? I'm going to talk to him
okay.
in an hour. So like literally someone I know and just spoke with was influenced by you and your YouTube content.
Oh, that's really cool to hear. Yeah, that's cool.
And so I know so YouTube is your primary channel. And so what is your approach to creating YouTube content? Like from my perspective, it seems very like educational, like teaching other people how to use Notion, or you have a whole series on Notion AI. And so is that kind of your approach, just to be kind of like a teacher?
Yeah, I would say like a lot of YouTube content is, how can I say, I like to script my videos first and then record it, whereas most people would just like press record and then start talking, going through everything. But I felt that taking that approach, there's a lot of, how can I say, unnecessary stuff in the videos that probably isn't relevant for like the actual video. So I sort of like the approach I take is to just compact the video with like value and not have like unnecessary things. like keep it straight to the point, sort of. And yeah, it's mainly just talking about Notion, educating people on how to use it. So it's mainly tutorials, tips, and templates. And then I also have the AI videos, but yeah, it's usually either one of those three.
I think your videos are really succinct and to the point, which I appreciate. Like YouTube has kind of become its own meme at this point of people who have to make 10-minute long videos for the algorithm and they have to like pad everything
Yeah.
out. And so when I come across a creator like you where you just kind of get right to the point and they're very tight and concise, I think it just makes for a better user experience. Does then your YouTube videos power people finding your templates, and that's kind of how you get people into your Gumroad page to start making sales?
Yes, yes, it's mainly YouTube. I'm also like dabbling into Twitter now, but like the main difference where I see like YouTube compared to like pretty much all the other platforms is with YouTube, you can spend like maybe 3, 4 hours creating a video, but that video can still get views and traffic and sales 1 year from now. Whereas with Twitter, it's like you have to post every single day. TikTok, you have to like post new videos every single day. Like some of them might get views later, but if people can like with YouTube, they can search for it and it ranks on search. So it's a lot more sustainable if you take that approach, because it's sort of like as long as you're consistent and you keep going, your success will be inevitable because it's just like it compounds. Whereas like most other platforms, you have to like consistently post every single day, which can get like quite mentally taxing. Like, yeah, takes a lot of energy.
Yeah. Did you learn or take any classes of how to make YouTube videos, or did you just kind of figure it out yourself?
So actually, in the 2020 lockdown, I started a YouTube channel which was like in the lo-fi niche. It was called Lost in Lo-fi, and that was sort of just to create something, because like what else am I gonna do? Like I don't want to just play games or whatever. So I sort of just started that because I've been learning about like making money online and Shopify and all of that. So and YouTube, like I was always drawn into YouTube, so I started that, made a bunch of videos. Fast forward a year later, I sold the channel. I sold it at 18,000 subscribers, and I think it had like 3.8 million views or something.
Okay.
So I sold that because I couldn't monetize it, copyright claims, etc. And then literally like 1 week after I sold it, I came across Ali Abdul's video about Notion,
Yeah.
and then I discovered Notion. I was just like hooked, just like 24/7 playing around with Notion, and then I was like, okay, I'm not using Notion to be productive. I'm just playing with Notion. I'm just making it look pretty or whatever. So it's like, okay, let me create another YouTube channel, like sort of as a outlet, as an excuse for me to keep playing with Notion and keep
Yeah.
learning Notion. So it's like the things that I learned, I just documented on this channel. And yeah, and then another 2 years later, and yeah, it's my full time thing.
I love that. Someone else I talked to recently said something similar of in their mind being successful with Notion and really sticking with any kind of like side project and making it full time is there's like a consistency aspect to it, but it also has to be fun for you. And you
Yeah.
kind of like found a way to take the fun you were having with Notion and share it with other people, and that kind of created a lot of what's driven your like audience size to date.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would say because most people they would like they have something that they like, and then they like sort of like try to find ways to make money with it or like force it. But it's sort of like you have to like there's your interests and there's like what your audience wants or what people want, and then like whatever is in the middle of those. Like you can't just be focused on your interests, and you can't just do like something that you don't like, otherwise you're not gonna stay consistent. So you have to like find that balance and basically build your passion instead of like finding it, I would say.
Okay. Yeah. How do you keep it fun and so it's to where it doesn't feel like it's a lot of work to you and that kind of like fun still comes out in your videos too?
Yeah, so it is a lot of work, but it's just about like doing the basics consistently. Like in the beginning, it's take a lot more time figuring out the systems and the process. But as you keep going, you get better at coming up with video ideas. You get better at scripting, recording content. Like everything just becomes easier. But you're still gonna do the same stuff every single time you create the video or whatever you're doing. So it's just like if you can do the basics consistently and you sort of have that under control, then yeah, you can, how can I say, you have more mental bandwidth to focus on the funner things or like discovering new tools because you can create a video about it or finding new ways to use this or creating new templates or whatever it is.
So it's
So
almost
yeah.
like once you've learned the like repeatable processes of making a
Mm.
video and you get more like knowledgeable and you have more like experience doing that, then like the you have more time and to your point, like more mental bandwidth to do the fun parts of
Yeah,
video.
exactly. Because yeah, consistency creates competence. So if you just do it, like if you're consistent with something, you get better at it, and it will take less time. It will be easier, and yeah.
Right. How much time do you spend making each video on average these days?
So currently, I like one day I set out for scripting or creating templates, setting like creating the Gumroad page if there's a new template, and then the following day I record, so the video and the audio, and I also do the thumbnail, and then I send it to my video editor. So I don't actually edit the videos myself. But yeah, that usually about 2 days, but not like the whole 2 days. In terms of like hours, I would say probably around like maybe 2 hours of scripting, planning, and then like another 2 to 3 hours of actual recording,
Okay.
and probably
How
another hour for like thumbnail and scheduling and stuff.
okay. How soon did you start outsourcing the editing to like a professional editor?
As soon as possible, because I didn't really like editing, especially because I like now I got a very strong computer, but I didn't like my previous PC wasn't that strong, so it was quite slow, the editing like in Premiere Pro, like rendering and everything. It was quite time consuming, like it almost took the same amount of time as everything else. And I'm constantly listening to myself over and over again. So like it got kind of annoying. That was like the only part of the process that I just wanted to like outsource. So yes, someone emailed me and he emailed me asking if he could create like mock-up videos, like in After Effects, like 3D template mock-up videos. And it was like cool, like yeah, definitely, but can you also like maybe edit the videos, like I would pay you for like each video that you edit. And then yeah, he was down, so yeah, he started working for me, and then now he is unable to, so I got somebody else, but he's still creating like the mock-up stuff, so I got like two people doing like video editing type work.
How did you find the second video editor? Was it also someone who emailed you?
No, that was through Upwork. So
Okay.
I just sent out the job posting, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's really wise to start outsourcing the activities that you like the least. And also, it sounds like it was just as much time to edit as it was to put everything else together. So that return on your time must be huge and gives you more freedom to do the other parts, like
Mm,
making templates and building your Gumroad store
exactly,
and all of
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And also like I love YouTube, I love Notion, but I don't necessarily love editing, but somebody else does, and that person is like really good at editing. It's what they love to do, it's what they're naturally gonna get better at. So I would rather just like pay someone who's like a lot better than me, and that can save me time.
Yeah. Do you put your templates on any of like the Notion template gallery or any of the other like Notion template marketplaces too?
I probably should. I do have a couple on the Notion template gallery. I've played around with a few of the like other marketplaces, but mainly just selling them on my own. Yeah.
Okay. Is you just kind of prefer the control of it, or just like not something you've kind of gotten around to, is like just pitching them to other places?
Well, like I don't mind them like putting it up on those, but say for example I want to change something in the template, then I can't like edit it on those marketplaces, or if I change the price or templates inside of the dashboard changes, like I can't make edits. And yeah, I don't like I haven't seen like much sales compared to like just from my own stuff from those marketplaces. There is one website where someone is an affiliate with, like he does good selling my templates, but that's like the only exception. Yeah.
Do you What is your like post purchase flow look like? So someone like the perfect customer watches one of your YouTube videos, clicks a link in the description, either buys one of your templates, and then afterwards, are you doing anything to kind of like upsell or cross sell them to other templates? Like, what does that post process like journey look like?
Yeah, so yeah, as you said, like they find me on YouTube, they click the link in the description, and then let's say it's a free template, then they download the free template, and then the link that they get from Gumroad doesn't take them directly to the actual template link. Like the template page is inside another page, and then inside of that page I can basically, like I have a like a gallery database with some of my YouTube videos, so people like it drives traffic from there. I have another section where it like promotes one of my paid dashboards, and inside the Gumroad like content page as well, like after people buy it or like checkout, then there's also a section where you can like add more content and buttons and things. So that's like, I don't like to hard sell. I like use the soft sell approach. So like if you
Yeah.
want, here it is. So yeah.
Is it a Notion page? Like you send someone to a
Mm.
Notion page, and within that
Yeah.
Notion page, you then link out to the download and have everything else around it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you do any coupons or kind of like follow up like specials to get discounts on your templates?
No, I will probably in the future, but at the moment, I'm just selling like three templates, like a pay dashboard. I'm gonna create a lot more very soon, but yeah, I don't think it's necessary at the moment. Like eventually, I might run like a sale and challenges or events or giveaways or stuff like that, but at the moment, not yet.
Yeah. One of the creators I talked with first had a lot of success working with other Notion creators on Twitter, where they would kind of talk about each other's template, and like they would get an affiliate link and promote or tweet about the other person's template. And this person was in budgeting and finance. And so they would find other creators in that same space to help like cross promote. And so you kind of get in front of each other's audience. Have you done anything like that of like partnerships with other creators or no?
I have in the past done like sort of like a community template collection type thing on YouTube. I am planning on doing something like that again for both Twitter and YouTube, where it's the first time was just like 10 Notion templates I found on Twitter, and it's like I go through 10 different creators, like free templates. And then the other one was where like actually reviewed the templates and gave like feedback and like a rating out of 5 stars. So I'm planning to do stuff like that again, and also a lot more on Twitter, like actually be very active on Twitter also. Yeah.
Are there any Notion communities or Discord groups that you're in with other template creators too?
No, I probably should be, but like I would rather like build the audience, create my own, and just like take care
Yeah.
of them than like have like five different. Yeah, like I'm probably missing out on a bunch of traffic and sales and subscribers from not interacting in like Facebook groups, because I know that's like a popular one, or different communities, but like I don't even have time to do everything that I want to do. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all about prioritizing and what what is worth your time doing and then what you have to be okay with not participating in. Like there's also
Mm.
someone I talked with recently that is in a Notion Discord community and they have a full-time job and they just don't have time to keep up with all the chat and what's going on. And it can feel like when you're talking to other creators that you're doing work, but in reality you're
Mm.
really not doing things that lead to
Exactly.
a financial outcome or a sale. So it might feel good in the moment, but like reality is it's probably not a like worthwhile like business activity.
Yeah, and it's like if you're gonna talk to 5 different people every day, that's like a lot at the end of the month. So like it just gets like overwhelming. Because also the thing with communities is you have to provide value. Like that's the main thing is the idea is there's a bunch of people, similar interests. If you can provide value, you become known in that community and people start like and trust you. Like, yeah, they'll check out your content, check out your templates, but you have to spend that time and invest that time to actually provide value, interact with them, build that trust, and that does take a lot of time.
Yeah. And I think that's the nice thing about YouTube is that you're building that trust every time someone watches one of your videos and they come back and it's you put the time in once and you have
Yeah.
compound gains on it afterwards. So it doesn't require a lot more active time afterwards too. Can you walk through your most recent revenue milestone? I think I saw you post something on Twitter of you crossing a certain milestone.
Yeah, that was my first 10K just from the templates from Gumroad, which is quite like if you're starting out, like when I rebranded to Chris's Notion, when I like quit the real estate thing and everything, I downloaded Twitter because of like crypto reasons and NFT stuff. But then I saw Islo, I saw his thread of making money. I got the idea for the black and white cartoon, as people say, and created a Twitter account. And there I was like, okay, one day I'm gonna post a screenshot where I'm making 10K on from Notion templates or whatever. And yeah, because that's quite a big milestone. Because like 1K is like, okay, cool. Like it's a big milestone, but it's like not much. 10K is okay. Like he's doing something right. Like something's working, and then it just compounds. So it will take less time to hit 100K than it did hitting 10K. So it's like,
I think there's a lot of people I've seen on Twitter who post, their revenue milestones too. And there's more frequently people in the hundreds or like low thousands. And then once you get into the like 10,000 plus, there's starts to be fewer and fewer people who have cracked that. And so one, like congratulations, like hitting
thank
10,000,
you.
I think is an incredible
Yeah.
milestone. Is that like really primarily from YouTube that has driven most of those sales?
Yeah, it's literally just YouTube and yeah, the templates. Like I am going to eventually like be on TikTok and Instagram and like all over social media. But at the moment it's just YouTube and Twitter and then like all of those because I also know it's how can I say it's dangerous to only rely on one platform. It's like anything can happen with your account and then it's like you're done. But yeah, I am gonna like also start creating on all the social media platforms and be everywhere. Like my goal for this year is to have at least 10K on every single platform. But like obviously the goal is a lot more. But yeah.
Yeah, that's my fear too. Is I'm always thinking about how to diversify. So my
Mm.
my channels are a little different, where most of my traffic comes from SEO to my website, and so now I'm on Twitter trying to diversify. Part of me thinks Twitter might not be around forever with kind of what's going on with like Twitter as
Yeah,
a company,
it's
and so I'm
hectic.
looking at how do I diversify. That's kind of where this podcast, like my kind of like
Mm.
little YouTube thing, kind of came into play. But the more
Okay.
revenue my business has made in one area, I start to get self-conscious a little bit about like what if it went
Mm.
away overnight and being
Yeah.
overly reliant on that one thing. And so I start to diversify. And so it sounds like you relate to that too.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like just the other day, I just clicked on YouTube, and like I have different like email accounts connected, and two of them have the same like the my profile picture, like the logo. And I logged in, it was the different account, and I was at my channel, and like I couldn't access anything. Like there weren't managed videos. I was subscribed. So it's like that was also just like one of those like okay, I can just switch the accounts, but what if I lose access or gets hacked or whatever? Like anything can happen. So it's definitely important to diversify and not rely on just one platform. Yeah.
Is your YouTube channel, is it monetized through AdSense too, or do you not run ads on it?
Yeah, it's also monetized. I don't put ads in the middle of the videos. I find that really annoying. So I could probably make more from it if I want to, but compared to the Notion templates, like it's like pocket change.
A
Like I
small
didn't really
amount.
make that much from like just the AdSense.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of wanted to dive into more your process for making templates. And so when you're making a new template, what do you look for? What's your kind of aesthetic as you're looking to build something? And then do you have a goal in mind of, I want the person who downloads this to be able to do this thing better?
Okay, yeah. So the very first step or the very first thing I think about is, will this be a good YouTube video idea? Because it's like with YouTube, doesn't matter how good the thumbnail is or the video, if the idea is bad, then nobody's going to watch it. And then after the idea, it's the packaging. So it's like the title and the thumbnail, because nobody's going to watch it if they don't click. And then it's the hook, and then it's the video itself. So it's I sort of take that approach where it's like, okay, will this template make a good video idea? And then how can I make this template aesthetic so that it looks good on the thumbnail and like matches with my channel branding and everything? And then I start building out the template and think about like, what can I add to make it more useful, but also what can I subtract in terms of complexity to make it more simple? Because if the more simple it is, the more valuable it is. Like if something's simple, you know, it was difficult, sort of. So it's like I try to simplify it as much as possible, but not to the point where it's basic or boring or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start with the goal of, is this template going to become an interesting, good YouTube video? And then that informs how, like the type of template and kind of what does it also inform like the elements or the blocks that you use in the template is as well, of like, oh, you want to talk about buttons. And so maybe you're building a template that has like the new button feature in it.
Yeah, I've actually like today scheduled one that has the new buttons and everything is. But
I knew.
yeah, it's like I don't necessarily like in terms of like building the actual template. If I have my idea, I have okay, I'm gonna build this template. Then I sort of just play around with it. I just have fun, test different things. I might also ask the AI for some ideas because like you get like ideas that you might not even have like thought about. Like ChatGPT is quite good at problem solving with Notion. If the first prompt is act as a Notion expert, and then
Okay.
you like type in your thing. So I got a few good ideas from like AI, but most of it is just like how can I say, over like it takes about a week to publish a new video, but in that week I get like lots of ideas, lots of video ideas and templates I want to build. So it's just like over time I accumulate a lot of ideas. I see stuff on Twitter. So it's sort of just I have a page where I just write everything down, and then I just pick and choose what I'm gonna do and build from my like idea bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are you using Notion AI a lot in your workflows or like your template building process outside of kind of like prompting? Sounds like you prompt ChatGPT to act as a Notion expert to kind of give you ideas too.
Yeah, I like sort of switch between them. I I don't actually use AI that lot. It's just like if I'm actually stuck on something or need new ideas. But yeah, I don't use it on a daily basis. Like it's like often. Sometimes I use it if I like need it. But yeah, I sort of like again the approach I take is like in terms of YouTube videos. So it's like okay, When I made the Notion AI videos, the series about that, I like just played around with Notion AI for like a whole month. Just dove deep into it, different things you can do, everything. And then sort of like, okay, I know everything about the Notion AI up until this point. So when they add new stuff, I'll go again. Or if I like come across something interesting on Twitter, I'll play around with it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's probably hard to make a good YouTube video if you're not really knowledgeable or kind of an expert on the thing. So to me, it makes sense that you spend a fair amount of time ahead of time of making the video just playing around with it. So you've
Yeah,
figured out everything you can. So then you can talk with authority in the video to help teach other people too.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a certain audience or a type of person who you're targeting with your videos? Is it a Notion beginner? Is it someone interested in a certain type of template, or really just like broad audience of anyone who is interested and just wants to learn how to use the latest features?
At the moment, it's probably just anybody that wants to learn Notion, or like I've discovered Notion, so they type in something on YouTube to find my videos. But eventually, I'm going to create a lot more like Notion creator content as well. Like, for example, one of the videos is going to be how I use Notion to create videos about Notion. So
Yeah.
that's like going to be like about my YouTube dashboard and everything. But yeah, so eventually Notion creator content as well. And I also want to create content for like businesses that uses Notion. So that can act as like a lead magnet to like services and stuff.
Got it.
So yeah, but mainly just Notion users, people that wants to learn Notion or just like get new templates and play around with it.
Okay. Yeah, because last two companies I've been at used Notion at work. The last one was a 200-person startup based in San Francisco. And then the most recent one was a 30, 40-person startup, also based in California slash Canada. And the thing I learned about that is when you have a lot of people using and like inside of a Notion workspace in a company, there's a lot of documents and pages that get created, but they're not always good at updating them and keeping them current over time, especially as like people join and people leave the company. So you get all these outdated documents, and then your Notion workspace with the company becomes really bloated. And I don't think Notion as a company has found a way to kind of solve that problem yet for like really large, like enterprise type of buyers. And so it's
Yeah.
always been in my mind interesting to contrast that experience with your probably more average Notion template creator who's probably a solo, single person business using Notion and making templates for other single person businesses as well. And there's probably a gap of how do you help larger companies kind of wrangle all of these things. I know that's where like the Notion ambassador program comes from and like all of that stuff, but it's still a very kind of like difficult problem for Notion.
Yeah, because it's also like I can't at the moment, like you can't create Notion content for businesses if you haven't worked with businesses
Yeah.
on Notion. Like you have to actually gain that experience. Like I have worked with a couple of companies. Like as you said, like it gets messy, like with 200 plus employees, like one of them, they were like a B2B service company that's also like around like 200 employees. And they had a dedicated Slack channel where they can ask where this thing is inside of Notion. And then the problem was that thing inside of Notion is inside of 2 pages. So it's like it was like super messy. But yeah, like again, that's sort of good for Notion creators because it's like it's a service that you can offer. You can like help businesses clean up their Notion, set up Notion workspaces, and create like personalized templates and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something you want to do more of in addition to the YouTube videos? Is like your services business of doing kind of consulting for larger companies?
Yes, definitely. Because it's a lot of fun. Like you do, in a sense, like if you just do content, your own thing, then yeah, you got like a lot more freedom because you don't have clients that like asks for this, you have to do this, you have to get
Yeah.
this done. But then again, like from you helping them, you first of all, you if it's for businesses, you like interact with maybe millionaires that knows a bunch of stuff, that like know a lot, that can teach you, or just the way that this industry works, like in the back end, like not from a consumer standpoint. So you learn a lot, and obviously also you improve your skills and you make money. So it is good, it is fun, but eventually I want to like build an agency. So where I don't do all the work, but where other Notion creators who might not have a strong following on social media, where they can use their knowledge and skill of Notion to make money through the help of my agency, which will then get clients through like my brand and following. And yeah.
Amazing. I think that the last company I worked at could have used an agency, and so much that they were trying to hire what they called a librarian, someone to manage all of the documents and resources, because 200 people is a crazy amount of like Notion content to create, and Notion was the hub of everything. So quarterly reports, daily, like everything. My Notion workspace inside that company was probably 50 to 100 pages of just my own content.
Damn.
So you know, like different reports or different things like executives ask for becomes its own Notion page. And so they never ended up hiring one, but I think that need for having an expert, and companies are used to bringing in agencies for marketing or to do SEO or branding or anything. And so branding an agency to help with clean up your Notion workspace seems like a need in the market right now too.
Yeah, definitely. Because also, like, especially after the whole pandemic and everything, like, companies and businesses, like, they need to be digital. Like, they need to be able to work remote. They need to adapt. So there's like a lot of demand for like services such as creating Notion workspaces for companies, but also other tools like ClickUp, Asana. Like, there's a lot of them, just like that whole productivity space, but for businesses, so that people can work more effectively and remote work and all of that. So there's definitely a demand.
Would you recommend to new Notion creators to start making YouTube videos in the beginning to help promote their content and practice their skills? Or is there a different recommendation you would give to someone who's brand new to making Notion templates?
Well, that's funny, because if you ask anybody, like if you ask 5 different millionaires, how can I become a millionaire? They'll give you 5 different answers. And those 5 different answers will be what worked for them. So for me, YouTube works for me. So I would, of course, recommend other people to also try out YouTube. But it's probably not for everybody. Some people might be better on TikTok or Instagram, or just by interacting in communities. Like, it depends. But yeah, I would say definitely whatever you do, like whether you're selling services, whether you're trying to grow on this platform, that platform, like, document it on YouTube. So like, you don't need to create, you just need to document, because YouTube is it's like a, yeah, it's powerful. It's the second largest search engine next to Google, and like, it's where the brand is. It's where you build trust. It's where you, like, from the other social media platforms, you can maybe get traffic, but on YouTube you actually like keep it. Like, there's more audience. Like, you have a lot more attention on YouTube. Like, a Twitter thread will probably take you like, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute to read. But a 20-minute YouTube video is like 20 minutes that somebody can watch. So you can gain a lot more attention, which is mainly what growing on social media is all about. It's just attention, because we live in an attention economy. So if you can get people's attention, you can monetize it, you can sell them like obviously valuable, useful products and services. But for example, if you take Mr. Beast, 100 million subscribers, he's got everybody's attention. So no, like, he can literally start any company that he wants to, and it will be successful because of his audience. So it's sort of like, if you can figure out how to build an audience around the thing that you want to sell, around your skill, around what you're good at, then you can make money. Like, it's then just like a matter of time. So no matter what you're doing, you should be building an audience somewhere. But obviously, I would recommend YouTube because it worked for me. It's quite fun. It's definitely the, how can I say, the barrier of entry is a lot higher than, for example, just tweeting on Twitter.
Yeah.
But then again, that's why there's so many Twitter Notion creators and not that many like on YouTube. So it's sort of like risk and reward, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, because people have asked me that question, and for me, it's all of my traffic is Google search SEO, and so they asked me, oh, should I start a website? Should I start like focusing on this for my business? And I'm like, yes, but it's going to take you a year maybe to start getting traffic because brand new websites just don't do well in search. It takes a long time to build authority, probably very similar to brand new YouTube channels aren't just going to pop off and get thousands or tens of thousands of views instantly. So you have to put the work in. But yeah, it's less about what channel and more about what aligns to your interest and what you can do for fun. And then that means if it's fun for you, you'll stick with it and then you'll keep going. And it's actually the consistency that makes you successful and not that you picked Twitter or you picked TikTok or you picked YouTube. It's that you picked a thing and you stuck with it for a long time.
Yeah. And definitely. And also like I would recommend TikTok because that's the fastest way you can grow an audience is on TikTok. And if you can create short form content, you can repost it to YouTube Shorts and you can repost it to Instagram Reels. So if you can figure out how to create short form content, grow on TikTok, then you can grow on 3 platforms simultaneously. Like that's like I have to do it. Like I haven't tapped into those platforms yet, but that's like super powerful if you can create short form content because yeah, TikTok, like everybody's on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but it's sort of like because I don't use TikTok, I have no idea. Like the people that's big on TikTok doesn't exist in my world. Like it's sort of like I don't have Spotify, so Joe Rogan, I don't watch his podcasts, but I watch his clips on YouTube because I'm on YouTube, sort of. So it's like you don't exist to other people if you're only on one platform because they might not use the platform. So it's sort of like eventually you want to tap into all the platforms, but if there's one that will be the easiest or the fastest to grow, it's definitely TikTok because people don't have to choose to click like your video, like it just pops up.
They just scroll. Yeah.
They just mindlessly scroll and you just get a bunch of views. Like from the creator side, it's very beneficial. Maybe not consume on TikTok, but create.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big switch I had in my brain a couple of years ago is I recognized I was consuming too much content and I wanted to start creating more. And so for me, the least friction way of creating was to write on my blog. And so I spent a month publishing a blog post every single day. And one of those blog posts went viral, got a bunch of traffic. And that was the feedback loop I needed of, okay, now I'm going to write more. But yeah, it's all about making that mindset shift too of, not from consuming as much and maybe shifting to creator mode. And then that's when, for me, like the life opportunities started to open up of like, oh, you meet interesting people, you do brand deals, you get revenue. It's fun too once it kind of starts to pick up. But like that mindset shift, it took me until I was, I don't know, 29 or 30. It took me a while to kind of get to that point, but I'm glad it did.
Yeah, but that's like super important because like, and also the thing, if you're deciding to be a creator is there's not a lot of competition. Like if you just look around you, like in the physical world, if I can say, like everybody's just consuming. They're like just doing the same stuff over and over again. Like they're living their life by default, not by design. So it's like if you can become a creator, if you can make that switch from consuming to creating, then it doesn't really matter what platform you choose, what you're gonna do, because like if you make that mindset shift, it's like you're gonna figure it out. Like you're gonna find a way to make it work if you're actually consistent, you stick with it. Because it's also like it's sort of like you take the Red Bull. Like once you start creating, you can't go back to like just consuming. Like it feels empty if you just consume all the time after that. Like once you start creating, it's like, yeah, it's next level. How can I say? It's not instant gratification, it's delayed gratification, which is, yeah.
100%. Okay, so I
Definitely
know
worth it.
someone who is like someone in my personal life is hesitant to, they're creating something, but they're not putting it out. They have kind of a block of, they're afraid of people judging them or having negative comments or any of that. And so, like, what is your advice to someone who is, let's say, trying to make YouTube videos and they're afraid of what like their friends or what other people will think or will judge them for?
Yeah, so I would say, like, create the video, do whatever you want, edit it, like do the whole thing. Just don't make it public. Like just upload the video, make it private, unlisted, and then you'll like realize, okay, well, there's not really much of a difference if I just make it public. So then you make it public and you see, okay, I'm not getting any views. Nobody cares. Like nobody's gonna watch it. So it's like very humbling, and your friends isn't gonna find your video because they probably don't like watch the content that you're creating. You're same with your family or whoever, like nobody cares. Like which is good. Like it sounds harsh, but it's like the truth. Like nobody cares until you reach famous or dead. So it's like you can just play with it, you can just go with it, and nobody's gonna judge you. And if they do, it's usually because they themselves are like insecure, like they themselves wouldn't put themselves out on YouTube because they themselves aren't creating anything. They're consumers. Like if some, like, how can I say, you won't get negative feedback, or not feedback, but like you won't find a millionaire tell another millionaire or somebody like you
Yeah.
shouldn't do that. Like, nah, that's not who you are or whatever. Like it's only people that's like below you that tries to drag you down. So yeah, just ignore them.
Just
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the person with the brand making money online, doing what you love, being free, and they're still going to consume and just be who they are, I guess. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, like I 100% agree with that. It's the same advice I give other people, and I'm glad that you share similar mindset. You have to just put it out there, and
Mm.
what I found is most people are nice. Most people are into it and
Yeah.
excited, and they're grateful
Yeah.
to have this thing or grateful to learn. And I've gotten the occasional mean email, and it's just people
Mm.
exactly like you described, of they have something going on in their life, and they're probably taking it out
Out on
on
you.
you, and I just delete it and move on. And so, like, that stuff, like, by now I've published so much stuff, and probably the same for you too, that you don't have any hesitation of like, oh, what if people judge me? What
Mm.
happens? Like, I don't even think about it. I just like hit publish and move on to the next thing because I'm just like desensitized to the whole
Mm.
process.
Yeah. Because it's also like you get like, it can sometimes, like, if you get like a negative comment or something, then it, like, how can I say, it weighs more than all the positive ones.
Yeah.
But it's also like, as you said, like it, like they have stuff going on in their own lives, so I don't, how can I say, give that negative energy back. I sort of just like either delete it or just play along with it, or just send them like a heart emoji. They usually get like triggered when I do that. But it's like, yeah, they're, yeah, it doesn't really matter, or at least it shouldn't. Like it shouldn't bother you, because you're gonna get people that doesn't like what you do. Oh, you shouldn't do this. Like people love putting labels on things, like, oh, this is that guy, he does this. And then as soon as you change that, then people try to limit you back into that box. So it's like, you bought the red car, but people will tell you to buy the blue one. Or you go for this, people will tell you to do that. Like, it's just, at the end of the day, you just have to, like, do you, I guess. Like, you just have to follow your intuition. Like, you can't make choices based on everybody else or the
Yeah.
external environment. Like, you have to, like, make choices from within. Like, you have to know what you're doing, in the sense that somebody or your friend or your parent or whoever, if they tell you this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, you should know that they're only talking from their experience and they don't know what you know. They don't see what you see, and they probably don't have the vision that you have, especially if you're like a creator. Then
Mm-hmm.
you're not thinking in the past, like you're not creating those old like scripts in your head. You're like thinking about the future, what you can create and where you're gonna go. So if you just like stick with what you do, then yeah, eventually like none of that will affect you at all.
Yeah, and you haven't made it until you have haters anyway. And so if you
Mm.
start getting negative comments, then it's probably a sign that something is
It's
is
working.
working and going well. Awesome, Chris. This was great. I'm so glad you agreed to come on and chat. Last question: where can people go and find you on the internet? What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so YouTube and Twitter at Chris's Notion. It is Chris with a apostrophe and another S. A lot of people tell me that it's spelled wrong because, like, if it ends on an S, then you just add the apostrophe, you don't add another S. But if you like read and it doesn't have the S at the end, it reads Chris Notion, even if it has the apostrophe. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I just add the extra S because if you're actually reading it, you actually say in your head like Chris's Notion.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris's Notion, two S's with the apostrophe, just on YouTube and Twitter for now. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, again, thanks for coming on. And yeah, everyone, please go check out Chris's YouTube channel if you haven't already. My guess is most of you has probably come across his content, but make sure to go watch his video about Notion buttons coming out. Probably comes out before this podcast comes out, so maybe y'all have seen it. All right, Chris, thanks so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.